Hello, Kickstarter friends. My name is Mark Anderson, and I'm really excited today to share with you my debut solo project, Raindaddy. You might be asking, well, what does the name Raindaddy mean? Well, I'm the proud father of a son on the autism spectrum, and he was one of the inspirations for me to start writing many years ago. So Raindaddy is a shout out to all those dads out there who have sons on this spectrum and daughters on this spectrum, and I hope that my music in some way gives them some inspiration, and also those that just like rock and roll in general. You might have noticed that I'm not your typical debut artist. I've got a few gray hairs to prove that, but it's been a 35-year-old journey for me to gain the courage and the opportunity to share my music with you. It started back in 1983 in my good friend of mine's garage. His dad was the bishop of our congregation, and we had a little garage band where I sang Quiet Riot's Mental Health as the lead singer. Short-lived band, but it gave me that desire to make music someday. Interestingly enough, I had a very bucolic childhood where I didn't have a lot of teenage angst to write about, and so I didn't have a lot of inspiration to make original music at that time. But the 90s was kind of a gut punch for me and my family. In 1992, my wife and I were blessed with the birth of our first daughter, and unfortunately at 2 months old she passed away. We were blessed a couple years later with the birth of twin son and daughter, only to find out when my son was 5 years old that he was on the autism spectrum. And so the 90s became kind of this time where I struggled with a lot of things, and I turned to music to help myself through this period of time, and came up with some really great music. Obviously, a lot of it had to do with the loss of my daughter and my son, but I want to promise you this album is not a downer. It is really all about love, life, overcoming struggles, and a lot of those classic rock themes that we all love. Life in the Fast Lane, not that I'm singing that song, but you will see probably some inspiration from groups like the Eagles, Bad Company, ZZ Top, Van Halen, Aerosmith, and a lot of those groups that I had two older brothers who really got me turned on to music at that time. So if you love music kind of from the 70s to the 90s, I think you're going to enjoy this. I wrote this music and recorded it originally in 1999, and then kind of lost my nerve. At that point, there wasn't music, kind of online music like there is today. And when I tried to kind of share this music out there to the world, and maybe to some record companies, just didn't happen. There wasn't a lot of venues for independent artists. And so, I set it aside for nearly 20 years. And now it's time to get it out there. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that it's a great, maybe it inspires you, whether you're 20 or 52, to start chasing your dreams and to let it happen. And speaking of dreams, for me this is just the start of a lot of music that I've written that's never been released. And so this project is going to help me kind of relaunch that. I got 40 to 50 songs that I need to get out there and record. I think they're better than these ones, but these ones are really, really good. I want to encourage you to, contribute and help me get this off the ground. When I recorded, all of this stuff was originally recorded on analog tapes, all of which have now disappeared, and so I need to do some re-recording of a couple of songs, particularly a song called Love Slave, which I wrote when I was the human resources director of a company, and was dealing a lot with some really interesting sexual harassment things around the same time that the Bill Clinton stuff was happening. And I think I need to update that song with the Me Too movement, with all the stuff happening in Hollywood and Washington, to make it a little bit more relevant to today. Also, I want to bring some of the music up to today's recording standards as far as mastering and those types of things. And then, again, I want to get my website up and running. I want to start marketing this, and so I can share it with as many people as possible to bless their lives and to show them that, rock and roll is still alive, and so are your dreams. So with that, I want to thank you again for all of your support. 10% of everything that is contributed is going to go to autism research. So if you have friends or family that have a loved one on the autism spectrum, by you supporting this project, you're also supporting those kids and adults that are on the autism spectrum, and also to help their families. So thanks again. Hope you enjoy the rock and roll of Raindaddy, and I hope that there'll be a lot more music for you guys down the road. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your support. Long live rock and roll.